There was this article by Eleanor Robertson called Dear Man Child, If You Want Me to Look After You, It's Time to Pay Up. Basically, what she is saying in the entire article is that women who expend emotional energy on their relationships should be compensated for it as unpaid work. And as she goes and talks, she goes and mentions a woman called Jess Zimmerman and her article, Where's My Cut? Now, Jess Zimmerman is an interesting character, and I don't mean because she's sporting a half-bald look. The reason I say she's interesting is because in the About the Author part, it mentions that she enjoys practicing misandry and subtweets. Now, let me tell you this right away. If I went and started an article and I said, hey, guess what? My hobbies are being racist towards minorities and crocheting. What would happen? People are going to go and pick up on the you're a racist. You go and hate people. And let me see, your article is going to be about colored people. At that point, you'd be telling me to shut the hell up because knowing that much, you kind of already figured out where this is going. And with that said, a little bit about Miss Zimmerman's article. In Where's My Cut, the article that was referenced towards the other one, she basically goes on and says women should be paid to go and show any kind of emotional support. For example, acknowledging your thirsty posturing, $50. Pretend to find you fascinating, $100. Soothe your ego so you don't get angry, $150. Smile hollowly while you make a worse version of their joke, $200. Explain 101 level feminism to you like you're a 5-year-old, $300. Listen to you rant about bitches, infinity. Now then, look, about both of these articles, like I said, one references the other in what she is doing. And so I'm going to be treating the two of them as the same article now because they're both saying the same thing. That if you're a woman, you should be paid to show empathy. You should be paid to go and act like a decent human being. If you're being a decent human being, you should be paid for it. Because it all boils down to money. You're giving someone a service, you should be getting paid for that service. Don't do anything for free. Don't do anything even if it's nice. Do it because you're being paid for it. Now, anyone who is thinking a few moves ahead can already see the problem with this. You can go and say, oh yeah, well, this is real great if you're a woman, but okay, let's try it if you're a guy. Let's see what would happen. As a man, you gotta put up with your wife or girlfriend's bitching. How much should you charge for that? Also, she thinks you cheated on someone. How much do you have to pay just to defend yourself or to go and argue with her that no you didn't and you was doing something else? Also, here's another question. When it's her time of the month, how much should you be paid to put up with her and her period? Also, for a woman, why should I care anything about them? I mean, really, they're a woman. They're going to go and be real needy in terms of needing emotional support. They always going to have their ego strokes, always pacified, always told that they're great, they're hot, they're attractive, they're desirable, they're whatever. Well, okay, as a man having to put up with this crap, what should I be getting paid for it? And I know what some of you women are thinking. Oh, well, you do get paid. You get paid in sex. Okay, so if you're a woman and you're showing emotional support towards a man, then what should I be paying women? Hey, women, here's my dick! Go and start sucking it! Okay, they're not going to be too happy about that now, are they? Nope, they want money. Cash, moolah, dinerio, ka-ching. The point of it is, it's not going to go and work. Okay, well, already there's a discrepancy right there. You're saying sex for the men and money for the women. But wait a minute, there's a problem here. And again, it's not because women are being emotional prostitutes. No, that's not the problem. Of course not. You're so silly. The problem's with the men, obviously. Because think about it. That means if you're a quote-unquote nice guy, you should be getting sex just because you're a nice guy. Don't women actually hate these kind of people? No, seriously, if you're a nice guy, you're helpful, you got your way to help women and everything else, and then you go and you say, hey baby, how about some sex? They're going to go and treat you like you're scum. They're going to go and be like, oh, so that's what it is. You're going to say that all this they've been doing is just for sex. How self-centered can you be? Okay, so we can't go and use sex, so basically we're into women paying men in monetary terms. Now, not only that there, but I have a fun question. Since you're basically going to be paid to be a decent human being and to actually show empathy and all this other stuff, well, okay, what's going to happen if it comes to the bill? No, for example, assume that you're going to have your car worked on and the mechanic charges you $500 to have whatever done. And you think that's way too high and you tell him that you've been overcharged. And you go and start to argue with him. Well, okay, so if you want the mechanic to listen to you, then you have to go ahead and pay him to go and argue with you. Not to adjust the bill, just to argue with you. Right? Because think about it. If you don't pay him, then that means you are taking advantage of him. Are you not? So, by that narrative, well, okay, what do you think is going to happen? People are going to charge whatever they want and be like, okay, I'm going to go and make my money one way or another. I'll probably lower the bill, all right, but you're going to pay me, $200 just to go and argue with you. Okay, that doesn't sound like a good thing. And not only that there, what about personal friendships? Someone that's going to go around and expects to be paid all the time is not the kind of people I want around me. In fact, that kind of person is the person I can do just as easily in life without. So tell me this, and it's not just friendship, but what about the family unit? As in, like a people's relationship with their parents, or their parents' relationship to their kids, or the interaction between siblings and other relatives. Well, what's going to happen here? I mean, how should you go and charge these people? Keep in mind, you're acting like a human being, and you're showing empathy, and you're basically being an unpaid psychologist, just sitting there and trying to analyze listening to what's going on and giving your perspective on it. So tell me, in things like these, what should you charge? Do they get a discount or what? And even so, when they start doing the same thing for you, how much should you be paying them? And here's the thing of it. We're starting to go and say, me being a decent person should be making me money. Me not being a complete cut nugget should be making me money. Me not being a self-centered bitch who will actually give a damn about other people's opinion and what they have to say should be making me money. Does anyone see the problem with this? Anybody? Tell you what, here's an idea. How about we go and take this author, we kill her and shove her head up her own vagoo? How does that sound? Anyone got a problem with it? If so, well, hashtag give men your money. You want to go and have a problem with what I said? Pay me money and I'll argue with you. Because if I'm not getting compensated, then I'm not going to go and argue with you. So make it worth my while and I'll go and tell you why that is or is not a good thing to say. And also, not only that there, but keep in mind, because you're going to be white knighting and femsplaining something, I am going to charge extra just to go and put up with you. Sorry, but that's just a short charge on putting up with people I personally do not like. You're going to waste my time, I'm going to waste your money. See, that's my entire point. It's dumb, it's stupid, and it makes no damn sense. But then again, and I'm not making this up, someone actually did say something along those lines. The entire hashtag give women your money movement, they're like, well, if you want to argue with me, you got to pay me in order for me to argue with you. And there's other women saying, Well, while you won't get paid nothing, go and say that in order to argue with someone, charge them $1,000. And, as an attack to shut them up. And I'm just like, okay, but back again to my statement. What I said was clearly misogynistic. Yeah, how about that? That was actually an example of misogyny. Well, Feminists have finally found one. Who knew? But the point of it is, me just saying that, what's going to happen really? Do you really want to argue with me? Or do you just want to go and put a bullet right in between my eyes? Okay, common sense, people. What do you think is going to happen when you do that to someone else? And odds are, with people nowadays, they probably will kill you! Seriously, you acting like a jerk can get you killed. It's like using the word fuck in every single word. Fuck you and your fucking ass. Dude, I don't give a fuck who the fuck you think you are. What the fuck do you think you're doing to me, you fucking fucker? Boom! Right between the eyes. Okay. Use common sense here. You want to be paid for something? Great. Look, I understand. Yeah, housework, that can be a paid service. Taking care of kids, that's a paid service. A lot of things are paid services. But let's be honest. When you're doing your own housework, that's something else. You're supposed to take care of yourself. You're not supposed to be a bum. Not only that there, but when you're taking care of your kids, you're supposed to because they're your kids. And again, when it comes to emotional support, you're supposed to do that because these are people you care about. These are people who you want to help. Yes, you can probably charge for it like a therapist does, but if that's what you're going to do, these people are not going to want to be your friends for very long. And as for your relatives, they're probably not going to want nothing to do with you. In fact, you're probably going to find yourself alone and unloved. Is this really the life you want to live? Is money that important to you? If so, I got no sympathy for you, by all means. Go and be a lonely miser who's so poor, the only thing you got is money. Knock yourself out. If you're really that stupid, go for it. Also, just to go and leave one last little nugget of interest and all, I have to go and ask this much. If women actually do believe that men are getting all this benefit from, all this free emotional support and everything else, also known as nagging or being a shrew or whatever you wish to call it, being henpecked, basically. Well, here's a fun question for you now. If you're paying someone for a service and you're not satisfied with that service, then what protection as the customer do you have? Because if someone's going to be giving emotional support and they're just being a complete bitch that I want to punch in the face, then by all rights, I shouldn't have to pay them anything because they're not doing their job. And not only that there, but here's the fun little question I have to ask you. What if the roles were reversed? What if the man stayed at home, took care of the kids, provided emotional support, and the woman went and worked 16-hour days? What then? Would anyone be okay with that? I'm pretty sure most men would, because a lot of men would actually like to get to stay home and see their kids for once. However, most women, they're not going to be that happy. I gotta work 16 hours a day and you get to stay home taking care of the house and raising the kids? That's not work! Well, okay. But not only that, here's the fun question I have to ask. What about the man who doesn't work? Well, think about it. He doesn't work because he's doing, quote-unquote, women's work. That very hard to do stuff for women. The stuff that women have to kill themselves to do, but when a man does it, he's just a lazy-ass bum. But the point I'm bringing up is, if the guy does the same thing as the woman, and the woman suddenly gets all this free benefit now and can go out and make a job, and she doesn't like what the guy's doing, then tell me, isn't that actually kind of discriminatory right there? We're saying we should be treating women like this, but the minute the roles are reversed, we don't like that. We don't think that should happen. That's terrible. Well, okay. Uh, Not only that there, but what about the deadbeat husband who doesn't have a job? If the husband doesn't got a job, he wants to date him. Well, okay, there you go. So tell me, if you're a woman and you honestly believe that housework, child raising, emotional support, and all this other stuff you should be paid for, then why is it when the situations are reversed, I'm hearing a very different song sung? Hypocrisy much?